Good morning, this is E.T. Take 2. I'd like to speak about today about what equality means, liberation and freedom. What does it mean? I've tried to understand what it means and put it down to, and the left talks about having an inclusive society, but an inclusive society is one in which everyone is equally polite to each other, regardless of what they are or who they are. Do you see the Queen being rude to people? No, you don't. You see other people who want equality being really rude to other people. So are they as equal to the Queen? I don't think so. They might not have as much money as her, but they're not equal to her in politeness and good manners. Equality, liberation and freedom is something else altogether. You cannot free people with money, status or anything else. You can only free them with education, good nurturing, good examples of parents, father and mother, being men and women, frees children from psychological disorders and emotional disorders later in life. That is a real sort of a freedom. And staying disciplined within that then keeps you free from deprivations all of your life beyond the material, because freedom is spiritual and intellectual freedom from social restrictions, which is liberation of the individual soul to be what it will. Each individual is born with the genetic potential to be what they are. In that way we are all equal, and each to their own. You cannot have a political group saying what equality is or it must be, because that is North Korea. In North Korea they've got equality, and you can watch them parading. All those girls look exactly alike, say exactly the same things, and, sorry about my stuttering, I've got dyslexia of the head, but never mind. I'm not a professional speaker. But the North Koreans, they're a perfect example of a perfectly equal society. Those who want to conform, become compliant and are communists and are policed by the state, they can have this nice perfect life that the left talk about. The rest who don't go along with that and prefer liberation, freedom and equality, real equality of the individual, they're in jails and in shot and starving to death. And that's exactly what this left is all about, dividing society up. Telling people that you're not equal, you can't be equal because, well, you've got to crave for equality. If you're craving for equality, then you must feel inferior. So the left are going about society telling people they're inferior by saying you must try and strive for equality. Equality just is through liberation, freedom of spirit in education, to educate yourself to any level you want. But the left doesn't want that. They're the book burners. They're the ones who are telling kids to forget history. They're the ones who are trying to disconnect children from ancient and long time knowledge. They're not about liberating women. They want some women to be slaves to other women, while other women go about within the male raptor capitalist system, making lots and lots of debt and capital debt to other people. They want other women to be slaves to their children. And they say they're creating work. In Australia they've got people who are slaves to women's children in kindergartens who then have to have a debt. They have to go to university and get a debt to become a slave to another woman who gets to look after your children. So the two debts are created. One debt to the individual who then works in kindergartens, a debt to society for that kindergarten to support this other woman who works within the fiscal system, which needs money to be borrowed from, other places to pay for. The whole thing is funded by a fiat system, so it's entrapment into massive exponential debt. And then they say, oh, this is liberation, freedom, equality. No, it's not. It's a pathway to social division, social poverty, and eventually slavery, as everyone who becomes equal to stay within the material benefits of that dare not say anything other than agree what the political correct people say they must agree with. Political correctness, or PC, is political crime against humanity. The poison chalice of PC is a political crime of a natural human's genetic right to be what they will within the rhythms and patterns of life and existence. Good mother, good father, good examples bring up good children who don't have emotional and psychological or health problems, and therefore are far freer than any really wealthy people with all those psychological, emotional and illness problems. Freedom is what? It's hard to define. It's up to everyone to define it. It's in each and everyone's own idiom. Do not let anyone else define what freedom is for you. Define freedom for yourself. Love life, love spirit of life, and let your soul fly free like a bird. That is freedom. Thank you. This is E.T. from sunniest Australia.